the Russia investigation, the Ukraine telephone call, January 6th. And I think as we get more historical distance, we see how closely related all of these things are.
Let me just grab a pen, a good pen. Not that one.
You know, it's occurred to a number of people over the last few years that there are a lot of parallels between the Trump presidency and the Nixon presidency.
One of these things should not be like the other. One of these things shouldn't belong.
Not just in terms of the scandals and the hearings, but also similarities in even the personalities.
What do you think of Trump's bold choice to throw a double peace sign after speaking to the press corps?
He likes to express himself. He's unique, so...
Gangster?
Yeah, he's a gangster. Kept it 100.
I'm so happy you're here, Tricky. I'm starting to get real scared.
There's no reason to be scared, Donnie. You just have to flip the script.
And here we have a picture of the most corrupt president in U.S. history, and Richard Nixon.
This week we brought in Garrett Graff, a true Nixonologist and also a former editor at Politico, who wrote the book Watergate, A New History.
Matt, it is always great to talk to you.
In thinking about Trump and Nixon, it's striking to me how different their fates have been. Nixon wasn't even impeached. He was threatened with impeachment. And Trump has survived 2 impeachments and a lot of other scandals. So what's the difference between 1973 America and 2022 America?
The big difference then and now, I think, has to do with the behavior of the Republican Party. When you go back and you look at Watergate, the Republicans in Congress at the time participated in Watergate, in the hearings and the investigations, with an open mind. I think the Republican right-wing media ecosystem led by Fox News is an important part of the way that they're able to defend President Trump and also punish both his investigators and Republicans who turn on him.
Acting like it was a massive coup and an insurrection.
It was not an insurrection. What if we turn off the volume and just watch the images? Does it look like a sedition, a coup? You tell me.
Yeah, it looks like a coup.
It's not just the parties, it's also sort of the media's relationship to the hearings.
Donald Trump has what Richard Nixon, Joe McCarthy did not. A major news network that will run interference for the ex-president real time, no matter what he does.
One of the great ironies of Watergate is that it has made it harder to shock us about every subsequent political scandal. And of course, now we're sort of used to our government lying to us.
I'm fascinated as the hearings are unfolding at the difference in the way people are ingesting the hearings. Imagine if Nixon had Twitter during Watergate, the way Trump was able to deploy it during his impeachments and stuff. Nixon probably could have survived, I would think. The media landscape is different, and also I think the political machines understand how to use it better. If you need a little bit of plausible deniability, like, well, the hearings say this, but then Joe Rogan is saying that, even though what Joe Rogan is saying is completely untrue.
The known FBI agents who were inciting violence, they were telling you got to get in there, we got to take what's ours. Yeah. They had people that were there. Yeah. They know, for a fact, we know that.
I mean, the strength of sort of satire and humor, I think back to, again, 73, it was like, it was the domain of a few political cartoonists like Herb Block and Conrad, and that was kind of it. And now it's really interesting to go on Twitter and TikTok. You see memes and people, you know, tearing down Liz Cheney.
Level up, 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 level up.
The January 6th committee is very limited compared to Watergate, which went on for the summer.
The Watergate hearings were powerful in some way. You know, they unfolded over the course of 11 weeks in the summer of 1973. And all told, there were 237 hours. And the average American household watched about 30 hours of those hearings.
There wasn't this like massive cacophony of commentary that you get on cable news. I mean, for every 2 hours of the January 6th hearing, there's going to be 200 hours of analysis, commentary, hectoring.
I wrote something last week that is, this is basically one season of Tiger King that the January 6th committee is trying to squeeze in their hearings for.
Well, maybe they can pitch this to Netflix, and Netflix can then come back with the Netflix version.
And certainly the characters in this are just as zany.